Interesting facts about Jimi Hendrix. Jimi Hendrix was named the greatest guitarist of all time. This honor comes not just from fans and artists all around the world, but also from scholars, the majority of guitar legends, and by the Rolling Stone magazine. Contrary to popular opinion, technique was not his strong suit. Not his mastery of the instrument, but his otherworldly imagination and unequaled ability to connect with an audience were Hendrix's greatest assets. His guitar may be used to incite dissent and disorder, as well as to communicate profound sexual desires. When he first got the guitar, he simply flipped it over and rearranged the strings in the proper order, because he was left-handed. In Hendrix's Fender Stratocaster and other guitars, this is not ergonomically correct, because your hand doesn't have enough room to reach the upper frets. Jimi Hendrix was born in Seattle, and spent the majority of his life in the United States. He did not become a well-known musician in the United States until after a visit to the United Kingdom. Hendrix did tiny club tours in the UK, which was enough to put the local scene on notice. Hendrix performed in a club in late 1966, in front of Eric Clapton, John Lennon, Paul McCartney, Jeff Beck, Pete Townsend, and Mick Jagger. Hendrix's stunning show of skill and guitar fireworks left them all speechless. In a short period of time, his renown increased tremendously in the United Kingdom, and he became a well-known guitarist. Only 3 studio albums were released by Jimi Hendrix. Are You Experienced was the first one, released in 1967. In the same year, Axis, Gold as Love was released, followed by Electric Ladyland in 1968. 3 albums is a little number for such a well-known artist. Hendrix, on the other hand, only lived until he was 27. The solos and songs from Hendrix's 3 amazing albums are still transcribed and learned by electric guitarists. Jimi Hendrix released Band of Gypsies, a live album recorded in January of 1970, just before his death. Many posthumous albums have been issued, with previously unreleased material, rarities, and live cuts. Several of these releases are unlicensed. Before he was 19 years old, Jimi Hendrix was caught twice riding in stolen cars. He was given the option of serving in the army or going to prison. Hendrix opted for the latter and was sent to Fort Campbell, Kentucky. Hendrix voiced his persistent fear of the situation in letters to his father, pleading for his instrument to be sent to him. His father agreed, and the guitar became both his escape and preoccupation from the army environment. After an officer declared him unable to serve, he was discharged from the army. In 1967, the Jimi Hendrix Experience was not a well-known band in the United States. After Paul McCartney recommended Hendrix to the organizers of the Monterey Pop Festival, things began to shift for him in his own country. McCartney felt that the festival would be incomplete without Hendrix, even agreeing to join the festival's board of directors. He did have one stipulation for this task: it had to contain a Jimi Hendrix Experience. He sacrificed his guitar by burning it at the end of his set. The photograph of Hendrix burning his guitar and attempting to control the flames has become one of rock and roll's most iconic images. After this performance, Hendrix began to gain popularity in the United States. By 1969, Jimi Hendrix had established himself as the highest-paid rock musician in the planet. He was invited to perform alongside several of the most popular acts of the day at the Woodstock Music and Art Fair. On Sunday at midnight, Jimi Hendrix was set to perform. The crowd had swelled to almost 400,000 people by that point, and Hendrix did not want to perform in front of such a massive throng. On Monday, he chose to move his time slot to 8 a.m. Jimi Hendrix had not slept in 3 days by the time he took the stage, and the band, which had barely rehearsed for 2 weeks, was having trouble connecting. Hendrix, on the other hand, provided the ultimate iconic moment for music in the 1960s.